Good evening. Welcome to Local 5 News. I'm Ashley Carrasco. Glad you're with us tonight. Police are looking for a woman who has been missing for 3 days. 49-year-old Gloria Gary of Des Moines was reported missing Thursday, but family and friends say they have not heard from her since Tuesday. They say it's very unusual for her to just disappear.
This is so out of character. She's not somebody who would ever do anything without letting her family know or letting a friend know. And at this point, we've talked to all family members and all friends, and everyone, uniformly is really stunned.
Gary's red 2008 Honda Civic is also missing. Anyone with information should call the Des Moines Police Department.
Good evening and welcome to Local 5 News, home of WeAreIowa.com. I'm Jack Miller.
And I'm Stephanie Engelson. Glad you're with us tonight. A lead in the case of a missing Des Moines woman, 49-year-old Gloria Gary.
Gary was reported missing by family a week ago. Now, police say her red 2008 Honda Civic was spotted in Parowan City, Utah on Wednesday afternoon. 49-year-old Gary has not been in contact with co-workers, friends, or family. She was last seen leaving her work in Urbandale. Des Moines police say a Utah police officer spotted this man driving her car, but didn't see any sign of her. Store surveillance video captured these photos of that man who was driving the car. Police are asking anyone who recognizes him or the distinctive tattoo on his left arm and hand to call police. Meanwhile, in Des Moines, volunteers are still searching for clues. Local 5's Claire Bramer is here with the latest.
Well, while Des Moines police are working on executing search warrants for Gloria Gary's cell phone and bank records, hundreds of volunteers are searching the metro from the ground and in the sky, whether it's family, friends, or complete strangers. Everyone wants to answer, where did Gloria Gary go?
It is a disappearance without a trace.
It's been 1 week since 49-year-old Gloria Gary left her home in Des Moines, went to work in Urbandale, and never returned.
We're beside ourselves. It is very uncharacteristic for Gloria to have disappeared.
Gary's stepsister, Barbara Miller, has been driving the streets of Des Moines every day since Gary was reported missing. She says her sister is predictable, reliable, not someone who just leaves.
I can 95% say that she is not that person. That is not who she is.
So far, her search has led to
not a thing, not a single thing.
I can only imagine what the family is going through, and having a loved one missing all of a sudden, just completely vanished.
Cameron Stotts doesn't know Gloria at all, but he owns a drone.
Searching the roadsides and the creeks and bridges and areas that are hard for people to get to on foot.
So every day before, after, or on breaks from work, he searches for Gloria.
So you can kind of see the perspective that we get from here.
It's almost like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Scott Kilmer is searching too.
So I'll hand him a flyer, let him know about the case.
Kilmer drives 250 miles to Des Moines every day. Inside his taxi cab, he says, what better place to be on the lookout?
I don't think she disappeared willingly. I'll just keep on looking until she's found, however long it takes.
Meanwhile, police are relying on tips, leads, and anything else that may lead to answers.
And we've got some very committed people on it, but when you see the car popping up that far away, it definitely brings up a lot more questions than answers, and that concerns us.
Well, Gloria's family says she does not have a husband, a boyfriend, or any children. Police are continuing to investigate incoming leads, including those coming all the way from Utah. There is also a reward now being offered for anyone who has any information in this case. Stephanie?
All right, Claire, thanks. And again, Gloria Gary has been missing for 1 week now. Her red Honda Civic was spotted in Utah being driven by an unknown male. If you have any information, you should call Des Moines Police or Central Iowa Crime Stoppers. Des Moines Police can be reached at 515-283-4811. And we begin tonight with team coverage on a disturbing story in the metro.
Less than 12 hours ago, this man, 22-year-old Kyle Jepson, was charged with the murder of 49-year-old Gloria Gary. Jepson is from Des Moines. Investigators were searching for him for a couple of days. Police say they found Jepson in Utah driving Gloria Gary's car on Thursday. Utah police found Jepson and are questioning him now. Overnight, Des Moines police searched Gloria Gary's home. Her body was found hidden inside.
Local 5 has team coverage tonight.
Orko Manna and Claire Bramer are live in Des Moines following the death of Gloria Gary.
Orko is outside Gary's home with more on what police believe happened inside there the past 10 days. Orko, what do we know tonight?
Jack and Stephanie, police found Gloria Gary's body here at her home just after midnight this morning. And what makes this discovery even more shocking is that we've learned she's been here the whole time. Now police are trying to piece together how this all happened.
Kind of made the hair stand up on the back of your neck, that there's just something not right. It was really out of character for her.
Gloria Gary found dead inside her home early Friday morning, 10 days after she went missing.
Ms. Gary was concealed within the home. It was hidden where nobody could see it. It's our assumption right now that she's been in the home for that period of time.
Family members hadn't heard from Gary since January 3rd, where she was last seen leaving her office at Berkeley Technology Services in Urbandale. But after not hearing from her, her family reported her missing to Des Moines police on January 5th. That same day, Gary's family searched her home but didn't find her. Police say Gary had many personal belongings packed into a small space.
The living conditions at the home weren't what you would consider common. There were people, family members, I don't know about friends, but I know family members had been in and out of the house a couple times. I think when they started talking to people and realizing just how out of character this was, she was reliable, going to work when she was supposed to go to work.
Her car was spotted at a store in Perriman City, Utah on Wednesday. And on Thursday, a Utah state trooper arrested the man inside, 22-year-old Kyle Jepson. Right now, police say there's no evidence Jepson knew Gary, but they are not calling this a random incident. Des Moines police have turned over this investigation to the Polk County Attorney's Office, where they're hoping to get some more details about the circumstances in this case. This is Des Moines' third homicide of 2017. Reporting live in Des Moines, Orko Manna, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
Thanks, Orko. And there are still so many unanswered questions in this case. Some of them may stay that way for quite a while.
Some of those questions revolve around Kyle Jepson. Who is he? Why did he choose Gloria if indeed he is convicted? And what did he tell investigators in Utah?
Local 5's Claire Bramer is live in front of the Des Moines Police Headquarters with more. Claire.
Well, Jack and Stephanie, while officials wait on 22-year-old Kyle Jepson to be extradited back here to Iowa, police say he's also a person of interest in a disturbing 2016 burglary in Beaverdale. Ironically enough, Beaverdale is the last known address for Jepson, a mere 2 miles from Gary's home. Now, today we found out Jepson had lived there, he had worked there, and many people in the area knew who he was. As authorities search through Gloria Gary's house, we're figuring out who 22-year-old Kyle Jepson is. Friends say he attended high school and wrestled at Ankeny, graduating in 2012.
I was kind of able to tell he was kind of ego-driven.
That's where Brad West met Jepson when they recorded music together.
He was very quirky. He was very outspoken. He definitely wasn't quiet. He seemed like a really nice guy. I never would have thought he would have done anything like this.
Multiple of Jepson's high school friends described this gruesome act as out of the blue and unbelievable. And those same words came from his former boss at a local Beaverdale restaurant and bar. The boss asked to not be named.
Disbelief. I still can't wrap my head around it. Like, it doesn't seem like him at all.
Ironically enough, Gloria Gary's missing poster has been hanging in the pub for the past week.
And I hadn't heard that he had been involved yet, so we put the poster up because her family had asked us to, not knowing that Kyle had been involved at all.
A common theme, no one had kept in touch with Jepson, unable to answer what may have happened to him within the past year.
But he also kind of disappeared. Like, once he stopped working here, no one's really heard from him since.
Something must have happened to him, but to be honest, that doesn't justify what he did. You know, my heart goes out to Gloria and her family. But in the end, I really hope that justice really serves.
Again, police have not said if Jepson targeted Gary's home or not. We did make an effort to reach out to Jepson's family today, although they have not responded yet. According to the Polk County attorney, they are working on extraditing Jepson back to Iowa as soon as possible. Of course, we'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. Reporting live in downtown Des Moines, Claire Bramer, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
New at 5 tonight, gruesome new details about the murder of Des Moines woman Gloria Gary. A criminal complaint released today shows 22-year-old Kyle Jepson Jepsen broke into Gloria Gary's home on January 3rd and waited for her to come home. Jepsen allegedly choked her to death and then stole $200 and her car. Jepsen made his first appearance in Polk County Jail this morning. He was extradited to Iowa after being arrested in Utah while driving Gary's car on January 13th. Jepsen is being held on a $1 million bond for murder, burglary, and robbery, and is actually being represented by a family friend, Robert Riggs of the Drake Legal Clinic.
What arrangements have you made? It's not usual that they would just take a case without being court appointed to that case.
Family ties from my family.
Okay. All right.
Old friends and such.
Well, okay. All right.
Jepsen's next court date is slated for March 10th.
We begin this morning with some breaking news. The man who was accused of brutally killing a Metro woman and then hiding her body inside of the home has pleaded guilty. This is Gloria Gary. She was killed inside of her home back in January. Kyle Jepsen was in court this morning. He pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and second-degree robbery for another crime that happened in December of 2016. Local 5 has had a team inside of that courtroom. Kyle Jepsen told the judge that he strangled Gloria Gary and intended to kill her when he broke inside of her home. He also admitted to having schizophrenic demons inside his head. Both the murder and the robbery were sexually motivated, according to state prosecutors. And so that lands Jepsen on the sex offender registry for life. Local 5's Orko Manna joins us now from the Polk County Courthouse to tell us how the family is reacting to the plea this morning. Orko.
Well, Amanda, we were not expecting this guilty plea today. This was originally a hearing to potentially dismiss the case, but it was revealed in court today that there was a plea agreement made between the prosecution and the defense. It was very emotional for Gloria Gary's family. Several loved ones took the stand and expressed just how loving, kind, and compassionate Gloria was. I actually spoke with Scott Ellis, which is Gloria's brother-in-law, and he's kind of been at the forefront of this whole effort to first search for Gloria and to get justice for her as well. He described the past few months as being completely devastating, but he does believe that justice was served today. We also spoke with the prosecuting attorney today. He says that the reason why that the plea deal included a second-degree murder charge and not a first-degree charge was because if it went to trial, it was more risky. So. But he does say that the jail time and just being on the sex offender registry in Iowa is a life sentence. Coming up later today, we'll have more from family and prosecution. For now, reporting live in front of the Polk County Courthouse, Orko Manna, Local 5 News. We are Iowa.
Orko, thanks so much. A few more details on this case. Jepsen is going to prison for at least 35 years on that murder charge. He'll serve up to 10 years for the burglary charge, too. Those sentences will run consecutively. Stay tuned for continued coverage on this tonight at 5 right here on Local 5.
Another story developing tonight. A Des Moines killer is going behind bars. Gloria Gary was murdered and left inside her home in January, and 23-year-old Kyle Jepsen admitted today to killing her. Jepsen was facing a first-degree murder charge along with first-degree robbery and burglary in connection to Gary's death. Today, attorneys reached a deal for him to plead down to second-degree murder and second-degree burglary for an unrelated incident that happened a month before he killed Gloria Gary. Gloria's family was inside the courtroom when Jepsen admitted to strangling her. Two family members took the stand saying this nightmare will stay with them forever.
Everybody in this courtroom believes that if we work hard and we go to college and we get a good job and we live in a nice neighborhood and we do right by others, we believe we will be safe. Kyle Jepsen has changed that for all of us.
A Local 5's Orko Manna spoke to Gloria's family after Kyle Jepsen was sentenced today. He joins us in the studio now with more.
Well, Stephanie, Gloria Gary's family was very emotional in court this morning. This has been a long journey for them. Gloria went missing in January and days later was found dead inside her own home. Her family says they still feel her loss, but that today some justice was served.
There's no words to describe it.
Gloria Gary's family is still processing her brutal death. Gloria's brother-in-law says she was a bright light put out too soon.
Huge piece of our lives. This is gone. There's no grief. There's no words. It's like part of your life just got cut right out. And I think everybody feels that way.
Family members in the courtroom took the stand Friday, describing Gloria as the nicest person you'd ever meet.
She was really smart, and she was tough, and sometimes she was stubborn. She was gentle, and she never harmed anyone or anything.
Kyle Jepson, also emotional in court, finally admitted to killing Gloria back in January. He will stay in prison for 35 years at a minimum on a second-degree murder charge. If he was convicted of first-degree murder as originally charged, he would have been put away for life. We asked the prosecution why the plea agreement was changed to a lesser charge.
Anytime we're engaging in a plea agreement, we're trying to obtain certainty in the process. Anytime we go to a jury trial, there's a risk of a verdict that isn't as favorable to us. Even if we go to a jury trial and get a first-degree murder conviction, that case is then subject to appeal. The family is dealing with appellate court decisions in the future.
It's also because the defense likely would not agree to it. Jepson's attorney tells me he believes the settlement is fair.
Proceed to sentencing.
Gloria's family says justice was served, even with a mandatory minimum sentence of 35 years. But if Jepson were ever to be eligible for parole, Gloria's family says they would never let him go free.
I think that we have the justice of knowing that Kyle Jepson, the man responsible, that the monster that is Kyle Jepson, is behind bars and will be behind bars for sure for 35 years. And if in 35 years I have anything to say about it, we'll go the full 60. I will be there at every parole hearing until they're wheeling me in on a gurney, because that man should stay behind bars for as long as possible.
As part of today's plea deal and because of the sexual nature of this crime, Jepson will be put on the Iowa Sex Offender Registry for life. And coming up tonight at 6, hear why Gloria Gary's family says being on that list basically is a life sentence. Live in the studio, Orko Manna, Local 5 News, we are Iowa.
All right, Orko, thank you. Kyle Jepson spoke in court today as well. He was emotional, saying he has mental health issues that make him do bad things.
I've been dealing with, for lack of better terms, some sort of schizophrenic or some sort of spiritual demons that like take control of myself, and I don't know how to. It's hard accepting that I'm on this side of the table.
Jepson not only confessed to murdering Gloria Gary, but he also pleaded guilty to a second-degree burglary charge. That incident happened about a month before Gary's death. Jepson broke into a Des Moines woman's home and was caught wearing some of her clothes. She took the stand today, visibly upset.
I found him trespassing in my house and terrified my children. My baby still talks about the man in the basement. She will take years for her to forget.
Well, once again, Jepson is going to prison for both of these crimes for at least 35 years.